Hello.
Hello.
It's our special Trash Talk intro.
Yes.
How are you, Vlad?
Good.
We're back for episode number
5.
of Trash Talk, where we talk about all things sustainability here at Blair Athol North Bertha 6 School. And
That is true.
It's true. And it's exciting because we haven't done one for a while, so we've got plenty to talk about. In particular,
Bees.
what's our theme this week, Vlad?
Bees.
It is all about bees, and there's a really important reason why we want to talk about bees, which we'll get to soon. So just let me fade out this intro that Vlad and I created on GarageBand. Love those beats.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay, how are you, Vlad?
Good.
It's nice to be back in the recording studio.
Yes, it is.
It's nice to be talking about sustainability because it's very important to us.
Yes, it is.
And we have a special focus topic today all about bees. And Vlad, why do we want to be talking and sharing some information about bees?
It's due to we're going to get a beehive.
Yes, we are. Can you tell our listeners what kind of hive are we getting? Can you remember what it's called?
A Norwegian honeybee?
Oh, no, we're going to get a Flow Hive. And yes, we haven't worked out what kind of bees that we're going to get yet, but we have talked about Ligurian honeybees, haven't we?
Yeah.
What's special about those ones?
Well, they're best suited for non-pesticide areas. That they also make honey.
They make some of the most amazing honey.
And we are a non-pesticide area.
No, we are completely organic here at school, aren't we? We don't use any pesticides, and we only use natural fertiliser, including some poo from our chickens, which is very good for our compost. So we are going to be getting some bees. And why do you think we're going to be getting some bees, Vlad? What's our goal?
Honey.
We do want some honey, but what kind of learning do you think we can do about these amazing creatures?
Like learning about bees. We could even create a new group, like a beekeeper group.
We could have a beekeeper group because we actually have some child-sized beekeeping suits with the masks and the gloves because we want to keep people safe. And we
don't want to get stung with bees.
No, and we also want to make sure, especially if anyone was allergic to bees, which I don't think we have at our school, so we're quite lucky, but we need to be careful. But the interesting thing is that if you went out to the garden right now, you'd see lots of bees out there now, and we don't even have a hive. Why do you think the bees are there now, Vlad?
It's spring.
It's spring.
I've seen European honeybees and quite a few native bees.
Oh, you're lucky. They're some of my favourites. Tom and I have both seen a solitary blue-banded bee in the garden near our hothouse, which is...
I saw a blue-banded bee around a buttercup.
Yes, it's very exciting when you see a bee that's a little bit rarer, and it's not the usual kind of European honeybee that we have in the garden, which are quite amazing to watch and look at. And you see them with their big pollen baskets on their legs after they've been through lots of the different flowers, collecting all that pollen and nectar.
Yeah, plus they're not as cold as European honeybee, which there's just way too many of. I can bet I saw 50 plus.
Yeah, there's lots and lots. So obviously you have to be careful with bees, but if you...
Because they can sting you, which would hurt you and kill them.
Yes, that's right.
Because it tends to rip out their intestinal system.
Yeah, it does. It's not fantastic for the bees, is it? But, I can't remember...
It's a lose-lose. It's not good for any of us.
Yeah, and I can't remember the last time anyone actually got stung by a bee here at school, even though we have lots in our garden, which is really cool. So,
the last time I've heard of a bee stinging in this school was about 2 months ago.
Yeah, well, I think, you know what, when we went to the pool up to Waterworld at Tea Tree Gully, I think some people might have stepped on a bee on the grass there and maybe got stung, but that doesn't happen very often either, so that's lucky, because no one likes being stung, I don't think. It's not much fun, and especially if you were allergic or had an anaphylactic reaction, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, like I said previously, it's a lose-lose. The bee dies and you get paid.
That's right, so nobody wins there, do we? Now, we would like to get some honey, and that would be wonderful, especially if we could make some honey ice cream in our wonderful ice cream maker. But what's another positive to having bees at school, Vlad?
Well, they can bring in stuff like pollen and nectar.
So what's one of the key roles that a bee plays in a garden ecosystem? What do they do that's really important?
They pollinate. All bees pollinate.
They pollinate. And what's happening when they pollinate?
Well, they're basically giving pollen to the flowers.
What does that help the flowers do?
grow. But fun fact about the European honeybee, it steals nectar, okay, to get more population than the other bees, but it actually harms the flowers, the stealing of the nectar. That's why we're kind of not thinking about getting one of those, because it steals nectar, which harms the plant.
Okay, that's interesting, because I know that some flowers and plants have evolved to attract bees just to do their pollination with lots of different smells and colours and other things that they use. So it'll be interesting to see whether...
If the European one comes, it could steal the nectar, which hurts the plant like quite a bit, with a 20% chance of the plant's death.
Right. Well, we don't want those odds, do we? That's no good for our plants, really.
Yeah, it isn't. That's why I think of getting a different bee that isn't the European honeybee.
Yeah, and it would be nice maybe if we could get some kind of native bee, do you think?
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah. The Ligurian honeybees are quite interesting because the main colonies are on Kangaroo Island.
Yeah, it's due to, no pesticides used there.
That's right, but they also haven't succumbed to disease and other things that other bee colonies have in different parts of Australia.
Well, most of the diseases were brought by the European honeybee.
And at the moment, a lot of European honeybees are suffering from the varroa mite, which is a tiny little mite that attaches to them, and it causes all sorts of problems. So we have to be really careful with bees at the moment that parasite isn't spreading amongst the bees either.
Yeah, because we could have different types of bees, but the European honeybee infected one could infect one of the bees we have, like a native one or one of the hive ones.
Yeah. So I know Tom and I, we've been doing lots of learning, and like you said, Vlad, we can't wait to get some students involved in this kind of learning. We need to set up the hive in the garden. We'll be putting some big screens up to stop people just kind of going to the hive whenever they want, so it'll be fenced off, which is really important.
Yeah, because they just go up to the hive, we can have like it gets stung.
Yeah, we don't want that. So
some bees bite as well.
Yeah. So we don't want anyone actually going to the hive unless they're supervised and they have an adult with them who knows what they're doing. So we'll have to be really careful with that. But I think the amount of learning that we can do about the life cycle of a bee would be good. About how their colony grows with their queens.
Fun fact: European honeybees live for 27 days.
Wow, they do it. They can do a lot in that time, can't they?
Yeah, somehow they can do quite a bit in like 27 days. So just to let you know, about like 9 of those days, it's just been like a baby bee where it can't do nothing.
That's right.
And then the 10th day it just becomes a regular bee and does the rest of its life just pollinating for mating days.
Well, I was reading the other day that so over their lifetime, so the female bees, the worker bees, so you've got the queen who's a female, then you've got the drones, which are slightly bigger than the worker bees, and they're males. And
I saw that in the book.
Yeah, their job is basically to make sure that the colony's having more baby bees. But the worker bees might take on different roles depending on how old they are. So they might be nurses. They could be defenders of the hive. They could be foragers out looking for flowers and things for other bees. So it's quite amazing that over their short lifespan, they will still squeeze a lot into that.
Fun fact, males do physically nothing. So the females, when male eggs are laid, they try to eat, consume, and give as many as possible to feed the colony, because males do physically nothing. So it would be more in the bee's mind, it would be more resourceful to consume their eggs and give it to the queen for more babies than let the males be born, because the males basically just sit on their back and do nothing for their entire life.
Yeah, and that, do you know, the hive might have thousands of bees, but there's not that many drones or males in the hive. Most of the bees are females. And there's lots of really interesting information you can find out about queen bees and what they do, because they are pretty fascinating in their own right, and they are bigger, and you can, if you know what you're looking for, you can pull out one of the racks from the hive, and you can quite often find the queen bee in there, which is really cool.
Yeah. Also, just to let you know, there's less males because their eggs tend to get the swing for food, because they tend to just sit on their back and do nothing for their entire life, like you're a baby bee.
Yeah. All right. So, Vlad, was there anything else we wanted to talk about with bees? Because I've actually got a joke today or two about bees that I can share.
Okay.
What do you call a bee that has returned from the dead?
What?
You call it a
Yeah,
zombie.
I just figured that thing out.
Which bee gives you a second chance?
No clues.
The Plan B. The Plan B? Plan A? Plan B?
That's
Yes. What did the bee...
good, Sam.
Oh, thanks. What did the queen bee say to the naughty bee? Beehive yourself.
That's good.
Oh, which singers do bees love the most? They love Sting, Beyonce, and the Bee Gees. Oh, there's an interesting gag there.
Are you reading this from your phone?
I am. I don't know these jokes off by heart, Vlad. What do you call, this will be my last one, what do you call a bee trying to make up its mind?
No clue.
A maybe.
I have no clue.
A maybe.
I'm gonna throw in the trumpet because, well, you're reading it off your phone.
I know. What's a bee's favourite sport?
No clue.
Rugby.
Again, laughter followed by a trumpet.
There's a lot of bee jokes out there, Vlad. I'm going to stop now. Okay, well, I'd like to say a massive thank you to listening in to Trash Talk episode 5.
Yes, this is an important episode because, well, it is due because we're like halfway to, well, 10 episodes, and the next episode will be the bid.
It will be.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to be a joke too.
Love it.
I accidentally hit the trumpet.
That's okay.
Okay, it'll be. Yes, we've got that joke. the bid genie stories. We'll get it from Sam.
Yes. Oh, yes, we'll be talking about those next time in episode 6, which is good. We might be reading a special bin shift story to you, so you can learn a bit more about that. And Vlad, have you noticed the new posters around that explaining what goes in those bins?
No.
Oh, check them out. They're pretty cool. There's lots more pictures. They're a bit more colourful, so we'll check them out and see what they're like.
Yeah, but let's just reminisce on the memories of the previous episodes because it's like halfway till 10 and it's just, well, good.
We could do a best of, couldn't we? But remember, you can find our Trash Talk videos. They are on YouTube, but I think you need a link through our school Facebook to get to them.
Have we hit the 10K? Have we hit like the 100K milestone yet?
I don't think so.
Have we hit the play button?
I don't think we'll get that just yet. But you know what? I think it's lovely that we get to do this.
Have we hit the 100K play button yet?
No. One day maybe. But it's good practice for us, and we love sharing lots of information about what's happening at our school. So I'm going to start up in a moment our outro music, which is the same as our intro music, believe it or not.
Yeah, many TV shows do the exact same thing.
They do, don't they? All right. Here we go. Fading in. Okay, we're signing off. BANB6 Trash Talk, episode 5. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. Also, a joke real quick.
Yes.
What did the bee say to the other bee?
What?
Let's be friends.
Let's be friends. Very nice, Vlad. Great way to finish. We got a laugh from the audience.
And good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and good night.
And good night.